What's going on, everybody? This is Stubbs from BRB Gaming. We got Thor tonight, and say hi, Thor.
Hi. How you doing?
Thank you. That was
What's
beautiful.
up? I know, right?
And we
Like I'm
got
trying here.
we got Chou in the house, who is the director of esports at Ubisoft.
Hey
Welcome,
guys, super
welcome.
excited to be here. I mean, I've been watching you guys, so this is like a dream come true. What can I say?
That's nuts. I would
Well,
say
I've been
the
I've been
honor is on
enjoying
our
talking to
side.
you in our Discord server about shmups and R-Type and all these new handhelds have been coming out. We've been having a lot of fun chit-chatting.
Yeah, we've been doing this hobby a couple years, and just it's been great just chatting with you. And we did not realize, I think we have probably people from across different sectors, in the Discord. And you get to know someone, you're like, oh yeah, I'm the director of esports at Ubisoft. Yeah, we could talk on a podcast. Oh, oh, could we? All right, let's do that.
Come on. Yeah.
No, but you know what? I think on the Discord, I'm one of you guys first, right? Like
Yeah,
I'm a full on geek when it comes to this stuff. Yeah. So
and that's why you're here today
yeah,
in geek mode. But we still want to
that's
hear
right.
some anecdotes. We want to hear your journey, and just want to get to know you a bit. So welcome.
Cool. Thank you.
So how'd you get started? I mean, when you were playing this stuff as a kid, NES,
Yeah. No.
where'd you get
So
started?
I think I'm a so I think I qualify as a Gen Xer, even though Um, I think I'm at the tail end of it, but yeah, I mean, definitely grew up in the '80s, and I was a Sega Master System guy, NES guy. I mean, it's a little bit weird because
Wow.
I moved here from Taiwan, so I
Yeah.
had connections back in Asia. So during the mid '80s, my 8-bit exposure was first Famicom. Actually, it was
Hmm.
Famicom. Like my cousins had it. They were playing all sorts of weird mahjong games on it, and the occasional Mario game. So I imported one from Taiwan, and I was playing those things, and then my dad, being a technologist at the time, he was like, "Well, I'm going to buy you an awesome console," and he got me the Sega Master System. And I always felt like it was
Nice.
kind of lame. I was like, no, I mean, no. Now I appreciate it as a retro guy, but now at the time, I was
Yeah.
like, what is this like wannabe Mario console thing? I was just like not into it. And he was like, no, you gotta check out these like 3D goggles. And he bought me the whole like the light gun, and so yeah, I was like, that was my 8-bit experience. And then I finally
Rad.
got an NES at some point, and I was like, the whole like slide the card in, push it down. That was just amazing. I was like, oh my god, this is Famicom. You just jam it in on the top, right? But
Yeah.
this was like you slide it in, you push it down. It felt like the future, even though it was the same game. But yeah, I mean, eventually, I just kept playing games, and
Hmm.
fast forward to I went through college playing games,
Yep.
uh, worked at we were laughing about working at Netscape. Um, Actually, it's
The
funny.
navigator.
Like right out of college, I took a crappy job at Netscape. I was literally the word processor in the legal department, so I was just literally typing up contract changes all day.
You
And
were you
so
were Microsoft Word.
that's right. I did
Yeah.
use Microsoft Word. I was a Word expert, and because it was a kind of a menial job. I discovered that Netscape had like bandwidth of the gods, right? It was like literally like
Yeah.
at the time there wasn't high speed internet, so it was like I was had high bandwidth, and so I would be playing like Quake and like all sorts of Quake
Hell
mods
yeah.
online,
Yeah.
Quake World,
Yep.
and then also it was like my first exposure to MMOs with like Ultimate Online,
Hmm.
but
Yep.
um, but through Netscape, I discovered IRC. Right, I was on IRC all the time
Yep.
talking, and there's this channel on FNet. It was called hashtag VidGames, and there was a bunch of EGM editors that hung out there. And so I was hanging out there at the time. I think it was like importing a lot of PS1 and Saturn games, and they were like, "Hey, we're looking for someone who can review stuff, like because we're looking to
Yeah.
like we have to fill pages." And so I'm like, well, I have that game. I just imported it. So I started freelancing for them. And then at some point they were just like, why don't you just move to Chicago and come work for us? And I did. So that was '98. That was my start in the game industry. I quit everything, packed up my stuff. I actually drove my car from San Jose to Chicago, and
Oh crap.
just
Wow.
I started working at EGM, and I think that was the first year I went to E3, and it was actually the first year E3 was in LA, and not I think it moved from Atlanta, right? So
Yeah.
Hmm.
yeah, and so yeah, and I went to LA, went to my first E3, and also got my first jaywalking ticket that year. I was with my coworkers. Decided we went jaywalked at this LA Convention Center,
Yeah.
and the cop actually like stopped us and was like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" And I think I was probably being a dick, and I was like, are you seriously gonna give us a ticket for jaywalking at a convention? And he was like, you come over here, and he literally gave me a ticket. And I think if you Google my name right now, right now on Google, there's a picture of me with a fanny pack doing this, like in the middle of the street, and that was literally like taking 5 minutes before I got a jaywalking ticket. So that happened. Um,
That
Oh
is
man.
nuts. That is
Well, we
nuts.
were
the,
talking in the
the, the,
pre-show a bit. You reviewed a bunch of stuff that everybody considers now retro, right? Well, you're at
yeah,
Electronic
yeah,
Gaming
I
Monthly.
mean,
Yeah.
At EGM, I
yeah,
loved
like
EGM, by the way.
PS1. Yeah, I started reviewing in the 30-bit era, like 32-bit era. I didn't, I think 16-bit I was still playing it, Neo Geo and
Yeah.
Like Super Nintendo.
Yep.
PS1 and Saturn and Dreamcast was kind of that was when I started doing it.
Hmm.
Well, that's
Um,
yeah.
Well, I
so,
wasn't huge
so
into Saturn, especially in the '90s, but man, PS1 and N64. Oh my gosh, that was some
Mhm.
of the best gaming experiences of my life, right there.
Yeah,
I could tell by your shirt, you're
I know,
an
right?
just a
N64
little
kid.
bit, right?
Yeah.
Gotta get some
What was
fun
your
shirts.
what was the like when you think N64? Like what is
I mean,
the memory that comes to you? Like what is the game, the memory?
Star Fox. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
a lot of people are going to say
Yeah,
Ocarina, but Star Fox. I mean, that shaped
yeah.
gaming for me. I mean, I was pretty obsessed with it.
I mean, for me, it was
Did you 100% that game? Like were
Oh
you
yeah,
just like
oh
master?
yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
No, I still remember all the paths, and I can still get a
yeah,
plus 1500 score on it for the total. I mean, I was obsessed. This is a really nerdy story. All right, I'm just gonna
yeah,
lay it out there. I was so obsessed with Star Fox 64 that from the age of I want to say 10, so fourth grade through sixth grade, my best friend Eric and
yeah.
I would play Star Fox on the swing set every single day. Every single day we were allowed outside. We were pretending we were in our wings, all right, and made up all these crazy stories and just a whole bunch of stuff. Like we refroze Aquas one time and like went to the planet's core. I mean, it was a whole thing. But literally three
uh,
years of my life at recess
but
was
like
playing
but I
Star
think
Fox.
that
Yeah.
the thing that stands out to me from those kinds of stories is that like back then we only had one game to play, or we only had like a
Yeah,
handful of games, and we
yeah,
weren't getting them all the time. And I played Double Dribble on the NES for like 6 months
yeah.
nonstop because that was like the game that I
So
had that
good.
was on me, or RBI baseball, or it's like
Iron Tank for
so
me on
I
the
love those
NES.
stories. What's
Yeah,
that?
Iron Tank.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
random.
TNK 111 or whatever it was called. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah.
And for me on the N64, my definitive game would be Perfect Dark. So that's the game that I play just nonstop. It ran
Yeah.
like crap. When co-op mode, the FPS dipped to like 19,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
but I couldn't get enough of it. That was an amazing game by Rare.
It's
No,
funny to
Perfect
hear.
Dark was yeah, it was like so ambitious, right? At the
Yeah,
time.
it
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, they used all this like face mapping software at the time, and like took their own employees and then mapped them to the characters' faces.
Yeah.
And like half of the Rare staff are playing some of these different characters. There was Elvis, the little alien, and like that was cool. And the story was cool, but the multiplayer brought GoldenEye's formula next level, and
Oh
people
yeah.
were just. It was so much fun playing against like even just bots in that,
I mean, I would say
silly
it's
level.
like probably the height, the peak of couch like co-op
Oh
split screen
hell
gaming,
yeah!
right? It was like
Yeah.
the
It's
peak.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
because
My
everything went
friends and I
online
still.
afterwards. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Well,
he moved on to like Quake 3 and like Unreal
Yeah.
Tournament and all that stuff.
the closest one after that would probably be the original Halo with the Xbox for
I
couch
mean,
multiplayer.
yeah.
Yeah, but that
That
wasn't. That was
that
like.
was the
That
last
was
one. That
like.
was while it
Yeah,
was on its
that's
way
true.
out.
But like, I would
Yeah,
say Halo is more known for like LAN gaming. Like people brought
Yeah.
like CRTs and
yeah,
Xboxes.
connect to
Like
the
people
Xboxes.
didn't really play seriously on split screen that much, right? Like, it was more you brought your consoles to their friend's house. Like
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. I think yeah,
But I think that N64. I mean, I recognize that N64 means a lot for people. I at the time because I was already in my I was like mid to late 20s. I was
Hmm.
like, it's just there's something off about it. It's just like it was
yeah,
like it just didn't speak to me personally. I played the best games. Obviously, I tried all of them,
Yeah.
mhm,
but I would say it wasn't my favorite. Like
There
if
were
Thor,
there
I'm
was
gonna
an
troll you a little bit. I
enormous
think it didn't age very well at all. To be
yeah.
honest, like
The
as a
textures
but you
didn't,
can
and there
tabletop.
were
upscale it
an
now to
enormous amount of
4K.
garbage games for
Come
it. I mean,
on.
games were so bad. Oh my gosh!
Yeah,
Like any of the wrestling games, the WWF or whatever,
yeah.
trash. Just so bad.
Yeah.
Superman
No, but come on, even
64. I mean,
Conquer. I was just playing Conquer the other day. It's just ugly, man. Like I
yeah.
mean, the character designs even like I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
I mean,
no, not
I'm a
Conquer.
PlayStation.
Banjo
Banjo,
Kazooie. It's
yeah.
just
Oh,
yeah.
Choosh is
I don't know.
gonna freak if he hears any negative banjo
I'm
talk. Oh my
okay. Now
god.
I'm just trolling you guys, but
No, I know that's good. I mean, I'm a PlayStation guy first. I'm a PS1. PS1 is my top console of all time. 64 we had in the house, but mostly it was for my mom to kick my ass at Smash Brothers. So, and my brother and I to do a little Perfect Dark.
Well, PS1 for me was the JRPG machine. That's what
Oh,
really got me
Dragoon.
going,
Yeah,
Dragoon,
yeah,
FF7, 8, 9, all of them.
yeah.
Xenogears, Valkyrie Profile, all that stuff. Just really,
yeah, yeah.
JRPG. I'm
Star
going to sink
Ocean
100
2.
hours into this game. Yeah, Star Ocean 2, all of it.
Yeah, yeah. Like Dollar Bill's Star Ocean Club that he has now, the Shill Crew,
Shield
in
Crew.
his Star Ocean
The
Challenge.
whole channel, man. I
Yeah.
love it.
It goes nuts. They go nuts. That the whole group goes nuts for RPGs. And Dollar Bill called me out for not mentioning his name enough on the podcast anymore. So I'm going to say his name 5 more times in this episode. I promise. Thank you, Dollar
So
Bill, for pointing that
while
out.
you're at EGM, what was the biggest game that came out, do you think?
Um, I mean, I guess it was probably like Metal Gear Solid 2 or
Mm,
3. I mean, I was there for a while. I was there for like 8 years. So, I mean,
Yeah,
a bunch dropped. Like Halo dropped, um, a bunch, right? So, like, I would say, but like the ones that were like most memorable to me that I reviewed were like the Metal Gears, the Gran Turismos,
hmm
um, probably
yeah,
a Final Fantasy here or there. I think that like but it was dominated by like Sony, like the PS1 and PS2. Um, and by the time I left, we were on GameCube, and um, PS3 hadn't quite come out. So like I think that Wind Waker. I mean, the GameCube games like obviously were cool, and like the
yeah,
Mario Galaxies and stuff. No, Mario Sunshine. Yeah, Galaxy had come out. Yeah,
yeah,
so. Um, but I mean, the things that like were really just meaningful to me. Okay, like here's a story. Like when I was at EGM, the thing that I remember the most was Halo 2 had just come out, and I was a senior editor, executive editor on our Xbox magazine, and Bungie and Microsoft were so like tight-lipped about Halo 2 anything, and they were like,
Wow.
we're not going to send you review code because reasons, and so we're going to set up shop at a hotel in San Francisco, and we're going to rent out this whole ballroom, and you have to like basically show up like in the afternoon the day before and sit there, and we're going to watch you play this game from start to finish, and then you can leave, like, and then you write your review. And so I was there from like 3 in the afternoon to
No
like
pressure.
no, literally like 7 in the morning the next day, because I decided for whatever reason I had to play through it on like heroic. I couldn't do legendary; it's too hard. But I'm like, I'm not going to do
Yeah,
normal. I have to do heroic
you
to
got to
get the
do a
full
little.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah. So I did
mid
it,
tier.
and Halo 2 on heroic is not super easy. I mean,
Yeah,
there are parts that are really really hard, and so and I remember like just it was an all nighter, and like I could see the other journalists getting their like 5 o'clock shadows. Everyone was super exhausted and just grumpy, and I remember when I finished the game. I don't know if you guys play Halo 2, but like the
Yeah.
story at the time made no fucking sense to me whatsoever. I was just like, whatever. So like I remember leaving the room, and my friend, he was one of the first journalists who had gone from video games to developer. His name is Frank O'Connor. He was like waiting outside, and he was greeting journalists. I mean, he was all refreshed because he had a night's sleep. And I come out, and he looks at me and he goes, "So Che, what'd you think?" And I was like, "Dude, what the fuck was like Little Shop of Horrors? Like, what is that thing? Like, I don't understand. Was there a plant talking to people? Like, what's going on?" Like,
Just talking
and he
about
was
that
just
movie yesterday.
he was like, "Yeah, yeah, Grave Mind, whatever." And so,
Yeah.
yeah, and then the dark part of that tale was because I was all nighter playing that game for review, um, and because cell technology was not great at the time. Um, my wife had gone that night, like had gone out in San Francisco to meet a friend, and that night she got mugged, and I
What?
wasn't even there for it. Like she got mugged,
Oh,
like at
Oh my god.
gunpoint. Yeah, she went to a
Oh my
show.
god.
Yeah, she went to a show at Bottom of the Hill, got mugged, and I wouldn't even know about it until I got home that next day. And
so you're just fried thinking about the grave
yeah, and I was
robbers.
like, and I had to deal with that. And I mean, it worked out
Was it
okay, but
Cheeto
like
Steve?
nothing bad happened. But it was still like that was like game reviewing back then. It was like, yeah,
Getting
you had
mugged?
to bend over backwards to do this thing. So that
Wow,
Yeah,
was,
that's
yeah, and I still give
that's
the
nuts.
game a 10. So whatever.
Did
I
you
was so
commonly get
confused. 10 out of
games
10 would get
10s?
confused
Yeah,
again.
would play
Were
get
you
mugged again. Yeah,
were
exactly.
you were you a harsh reviewer, or did games usually do pretty well with you, you know?
I would. I felt like I was on the harsher side, although I mean,
Yeah.
fair, but fair. Like I wasn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think I would give out big scores easily. I mean, I can probably remember the tens or nines I've given out on both hands. So,
Yeah.
um,
As
yeah,
it should be.
I don't think I was too
Well,
easy.
so that
Yeah.
game obviously then really, really spoke to you.
Dude, Halo 2 is amazing. I mean, to this
Yeah.
day, it's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah, Halo
Yeah,
1 and
and like
2
the
are
Master
amazing. Yeah.
what do you think about the Master Chief Collection?
Oh man, I was at 343 for that
Really?
whole experience because I worked at 343 for 6 years,
Wow.
and it was, I mean, look, um, it was a noble endeavor, right? It was like, hey,
Yeah.
let's package like all of the classics into one thing and then remaster all of it and then make it
Right.
Yeah.
multiplayer and like let's do everything, kitchen sink and
Yeah.
all. And I think I mean, it was too much, honestly. And
Yeah.
and my job at the time was community director, right? So I had to like, all of the sadness from the community from the issues of the game, like where it was a part of my job and my team's job to deal with, and I
Right.
was in meetings like almost daily with management about it. I mean, everybody cared a ton about what was happening, obviously. So
Wow.
we, and it was like all hands on deck, and um, but
Yeah, you lived
that
that. That's
I
nuts.
lived through that whole entire experience from hyping it, launching it, running, and that game was like I ran esports on it. That was like, that was like my first actual esports title. Like we on the Halo 2 remaster version, we ran the Halo 2
Seriously?
multiplayer. We ran I started the Halo Championship series on the backbone of that multiplayer,
Yeah.
and we did a bunch of stuff I think is still awesome, but I think that the community definitely deserved better. But I'm super glad to see that the 343
Wow.
spent a ton of resources and time, like for years. Even now, I think like still like working on that game, making it delivering on the promise that they had.
Yeah.
And
They
I think
delivered,
now, I
right?
mean, I haven't touched it in a while, but I think now it's like actually really good. It's like actually
It is.
what
Yeah.
it's
I
supposed to be. And so, yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I
kudos to
played
that
through
crew.
about 6 months ago on legendary mode with one of my buddies, and it's fantastic. I mean, it's great going through
Yeah.
it all. 3 was a little rough, but and 1 and 2, especially with the HD
So good. Yeah.
Yeah.
retexturing and everything. Oh my gosh, that's fantastic, fantastic,
Yeah. Yeah. Some of
great
those
Yeah,
experience.
multiplayer maps are
the
just
remastered
classics.
graphics. I mean, it was impressive. What they were
Yeah.
doing. The fact that you could go
Well,
Yeah.
back and forth too.
right. The toggling
Dude,
was crazy
Yeah,
because it was
that's fun.
instantaneous. There wasn't any
Yeah.
reloading or anything like that. They did a
That's just
fantastic
showing
job.
off at that point,
That's a flex. It is.
exactly. They were flexing, man. Yeah. Yeah.
And that's
So
okay.
what
That's okay.
brought
That's
you
what we can
to
do.
Ubisoft then? After that,
Yeah. So I was like I said, like Halo 2 and the Master Chief Collection and Halo 2 multiplayer remastered kind of brought me full on into esports. Right. I was like,
right?
because my job was like managing a community. What I realized was esport competitions, tournaments is like one of the best ways to engage people who are playing your
Yeah.
game. Like
Yeah,
Yep.
if your game is steeped in multiplayer, like competition and tournaments, people love that shit. So
Yeah.
I started
Counter-Strike, are
doing
you
more and
kidding
more
me?
of it. What's
Yeah.
that? Yeah,
Counter-Strike? Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
So then the more I got into it, and then obviously with Halo 5, so I stayed on till Halo 5 launch. The more I got into it, the more I was like, this is like 5 years ago,
Yeah.
almost 6 years ago, and I was like, I want to do esports as a career because I was
hmm
like, what am I going to do? Like, what's my next whatever evolution? And I was like, well, maybe it's competitive gaming. I want to do esports, and I looked around the landscape, and I was like, well, who's the company that's doing the most esports right now, right? Like with the most competitive
Right.
gaming stuff. And no surprise, it was Activision Blizzard. And it also happens at the time. This was 2015. I was heavily addicted in a very unhealthy way to Hearthstone. Like I was
Me
very,
too. It was so
okay,
good. It still is
okay,
good.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
um,
Hell
yeah,
yeah.
and have strong feelings about that. And so I don't think I've ever been addicted to anything in this sort of way. I
How
mean,
how
digital
much
card
money
games.
how much money did you drop on those Hearthstone packs? Give me an honest, like, round up number.
Yeah, I would say including the time I was working at Blizzard. So the span of time I played Hearthstone was around 4 years solid,
Yeah.
like front to finish, and I probably spent $1,500 to $2,000 on Hearthstone total.
Whew.
So
That's not bad. I capped out at like $600 and
okay,
I thought I was in deep. And I
and
guess it goes
and
even.
mind you, this is like I was at Blizzard spending money
You
like
were actually
like
working. Did you
yeah.
get discounts on these
You
packs at
get
least?
like with every launch of an expansion, you get like we would call them Morheim bucks. Like
Yeah.
you get credit to buy the expansion, and so I would.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But but you can never stay on
You
top
don't
of the
get every
meta if you don't
card.
have enough stuff. Like
yeah,
yeah,
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, you got to be on the latest meta, and there's so many expansion packs for that game. There's
right,
like 20
exactly.
expansion packs.
Yeah, so
my
I got in deep with TC like digital TCGs with Hearthstone, and
yeah.
there is one person I
Awesome.
can blame on 343 who I worked with that got me into all this stuff. Anyway, I interviewed with Blizzard. They
Is
liked
his name
me.
Steve?
What's that?
Is his name Steve?
No, his name is Andy. Andy, and his handle is Bravo. He's actually a caster for Halo Esports.
Oh,
And
cool.
we were at a Halo
Andy.
tournament. He was like, "Hey, have you played this game?" And it was very innocent at
Was he
first.
scratching his like neck when he was saying it? You played any of that? You played any of that?
No, here's the thing
Hearthstone?
that kills me is that he didn't even like get into it as much as I did, and he was just like,
Really?
"Hey, you should check it out." I'm checking it
He's like,
out.
it's these stupid like Magic the Gathering, like a kind of a
Gateway
reinvention of that.
Yeah,
gateway
And then
card game
next thing
for
you
sure.
know, it's like, give it to me. Give me the
exactly.
Hearthstone. World of
Um,
Warcraft was like, whatever. Hearthstone though, yes.
so when I got to Blizzard, like I wasn't even so yeah. So I relocated my family for Hearthstone from Seattle down to Irvine. Did
Yeah.
did the whole thing like. But I was never really a Blizzard fanboy. Like I was never like,
Yeah,
oh,
Yeah.
I'm a Horde guy or whatever. I would never got
Yeah.
into the
I'm a
whole
Tauren.
yeah exactly.
Yeah. Tauren
I'm a
clan or
cow
nothing.
dude. Like yeah.
yeah.
So I never got into that lore except I was just addicted to this game, right? So like,
Yeah.
anyway, so I go there, I relocate my family, had a great time running Hearthstone esports globally for a couple years.
Yeah.
And then and then the gig was up, right? Like Blizzard changed, as you guys know the story. Like Blizzard,
Yeah.
their esports model changed. They got they doubled down on the league franchise model with Overwatch, right?
Yeah.
Like they have the Overwatch franchises, and then the Call of Duty franchises, and Hearthstone just didn't fit the mold. Like Hearthstone was not like
Yeah.
Hearthstone didn't even have like esports teams necessarily. It was like people. It was like individuals competing,
Right.
right, at the individual level,
Right. I
right?
like
And
that.
so we didn't really fit the mold, and I was like, yeah, I don't know about this place. So then, yeah, and I got lucky enough. Like Ubisoft was looking for somebody on the North American side to come in to be the director of esports for Rainbow Six, and that's
Oh
our
yeah.
big esport. Which,
Yeah.
by the way,
Nice.
we have the Six Invitational happening right now. Literally over the
Really.
next week and a half, or over the next about week and a half, you're going to see the World Championship take place in Sweden. And I'm actually going to Sweden on Monday to be there for it.
That's
Really,
awesome.
for Rainbow Six Siege, the World Championship.
yeah, it's called the Six Invitational. It's taking place in Stockholm.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
What's the
pretty
prize
awesome.
money? What's the prize money for that this year? The first place.
I'm a bad person for not. I think it's $5 million.
Holy shit.
Wow, for playing
I want to
Rainbow
Google
Six
that.
Siege.
Yeah, I'm gonna get fired. But anyway, I think it's
No,
millions of dollars.
we won't push on it, but it's a
Yeah,
lot of money,
it is
whatever
a
it
lot of money.
is.
I don't. So
Anything
Six
anything more
Invitational
than
is not.
$100 is like
I
that's a
don't. I
lot.
don't manage the Six Invitational. Like that's
Okay.
like
Yeah.
we have a team specifically for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my job now, and my role just expanded last month. But I used to manage just North America. Now I'm managing um, all the regions. So North America, Latin America, Europe, and Asia, and really focused on
Wow.
growing our esports programs across all those regions.
So
So
you're
yeah,
now like worldwide director of esports for
yeah,
Ubisoft.
right,
Oh yeah, no big
exactly
deal.
for the
Oh
programs. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
NBD.
Yeah.
Don't worry about it.
Well,
Whatever.
I mean,
MBD.
I'm still kind of, I'm
Yeah.
still ramping up, right? Like
Yeah.
if you're going to be like, hey, tell me all about all the nuance of how how it's doing in APAC. I probably ask my team before I say something.
Well, let me take
Yeah.
it back one step. Let me go back one step. So this $5 million or however many millions dollars, how do I get good at Rainbow Six Siege? Because I suck at it. I played it on my Xbox the other day, and I really suck. I like the 120 hertz refresh rate that it has, though. That's really
Right.
freaking
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
How do I get really good to win this in like by Monday? Is there a training program like a boot camp you can send me to? All expenses
So
paid.
here's what I will say. I think that Rainbow Six Siege is an extremely high skill shooter. I mean,
It is.
I played I played most first
Okay.
person shooters at least to try. And back in the day, Stubbs, I think you and I, I think maybe we played a little Counter Strike. Maybe we played a lot of Counter Strike. But I
Oh
think
yeah.
that there's nothing quite like Rainbow Six. I mean, it
Oh
is
yeah.
for those who played, like it's Counter Strike in a house with like destructible walls, and so it's like the map is
I love it.
constantly
Yeah.
changing, right? Like,
You're blowing up
Well,
um,
everything.
it's the
yeah.
fulfillment of Counter-Strike to me. I mean, it's the expanded
Yeah.
tactics, and you have to have coordination with your team, especially when you're taking
Oh
walls,
my
when
god,
you're
the
sending the
coordination
bots
is
out under
insane.
doors, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
the amount of teamwork required.
Oh
Oh
my
my
god.
gosh.
Yeah. No, because
Especially to be good
think
enough to
about it,
get
like,
paid to do it.
Yeah. And we
yeah,
can play it on the
there's
Odin. We
people
can
have
stream
like
to
the
the Odin.
teams like are break down into roles, like players have roles, and
Right.
then you have like full on like gadgets that are just feed you intelligence on where the bomb is, where the players are,
Yeah.
where the enemy is, or and that is all teamwork, right? Because if you're the guy that is telling people what you're seeing with your cameras and your
Right.
gadgets, like you have to communicate
Mhm.
constantly, right? And so it's an incredible game of team coordination. I honestly, even now as I watch, and we're watching the best players in the world, and I'm constantly just blown away by what they're able to accomplish. And
Yeah.
I mean, this is not even
Awesome.
talking about just the eye-hand coordination of you peek around the corner, I'm going to shoot you in the face. That's
Yeah.
just like that's just a given, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
But
it's pretty insane.
baiting the other team into traps and taking walls at the right moment, all that good stuff. Man, they really
Yeah,
get it
and
down.
then
It's
there's
It's
the
really
mind
impressive.
games of I mean
yeah.
the mind games are real
Yeah.
in that in the meta, and then we're releasing new operators all the time with new abilities and new ways to play.
I saw that. It's very
Yeah.
gotcha. Like you're always wanting to get to the next tier. You're wanting to get to the next upgrade, next accessory. Kind of like Call of Duty Mobile in a way. But obviously way cooler because it's Rainbow Six
Yeah,
and it's on a
way
first
cooler.
party
Yeah.
console. But I like COD Mobile. Um,
Uh,
it's fun like that. You get different sprays, right? Kind of like how Counter-Strike Go has. And yeah, but I suck at it, so I hope to get good maybe for next year's
there
championship.
you go.
Maybe I'll
Actually,
get like $100
so
We'll be
buy
Stubbs,
like
playing
there's
our
a
own.
pity.
there's an app you can get on Steam. It's called AimLab. And we actually
Ah,
have a partnership with them where they actually have the exact tunings, the designs for how the guns operate, like in their app, right?
wow.
Like, so you can go and and there's actually like training sessions we can do where you can be like, targets will pop up and you'll shoot, and then they'll actually measure your performance, and so then you can
That's
then
Wow.
cool.
track how you're doing. So definitely go check out AimLab if you want to just get mechanically good at shooting things. Like
Aim
it's
Labs
Stop playing.
report
He's
on
saying stop
these.
playing Barbie games, all right, and get good and win the money, all right.
get
That's
good,
what he's
good,
I'm
saying there.
good.
trying, dude. Barbie games has gotten me to this point. Okay, but if I do this app, it's gonna say you are a 36-year-old stubby-handed man, and you're slow, and you suck, and you need to lose weight. And I'm like, oh, thank you for the honesty. I appreciate the directness. Is there a chance? And it just spits out like an 8 ball. No shot in hell.
No,
But
no.
you know, you got a great heart. God willing, you got a great
You're a
spirit. You got
good
a
guy.
real.
You're a good provider for your family.
You're a good guy. You're a good dude, and you like handhelds,
Oh
and you
well.
got
Maybe AimLab needs to hire an editorial director to put those elements into their evaluations.
yes, exactly,
Yeah.
and I can speedrun Barbie Explorer for the VR level in under a minute. I just want to put that out there.
Wow.
Under 1 minute.
Watch out.
No,
So
honestly, I
before
think
we
that
move on,
but here's the thing. Like, I think
Yeah,
I just admire anyone who's good at any game. Like, you could be like, hey, I'm the Barbie master. I'm like, okay, that took dedication, right? That took
yeah.
like a lot
yeah,
of like
yes, it did.
grinding those games, right? Like, so yeah,
Especially.
so good on you.
Thank you.
S- Before
Thank
we
you.
move on to handhelds, which is what I know what we all really want to talk about here, uh, what's your opinion on the Blizzard acquisition with Microsoft?
I mean,
Think that's going to
it's
lead to good things potentially?
I don't. I mean, I've read opinions on both sides, right? Like some people are wary of monopolies and what
Mm-hmm.
it'll do to the game industry. Some are like, I think a lot of console warriors are like, yeah, this is awesome for Xbox and things like that. I mean,
Game Pass is going to get good stuff. Yeah.
yeah, like I think as a consumer, I'm not super worried yet. Like I'm a Game Pass guy. I come from Microsoft. I come from Xbox. I know lots of people there.
Yeah.
And like I know they're not out to like fuck things up, and so I'm like, yeah, it's cool. I mean, like it's good
Yeah.
for me, I guess. But I mean, when I read opinions about on the other side, I'm like, well, especially from an indie game, indie developer standpoint and things like that, I could see a lot of legit points that they have. But at the end of the day, like I think the joke for me is like, you know, I left Microsoft to go to Blizzard. Now it's like my former employer has bought my former employer, and then people are like, it's like, oh my god,
Some people it might be a
they're coming
nightmare,
after you.
but well,
No, I
next
mean,
they're going to
look,
buy Ubisoft, and yeah,
I mean, I think I'll be honest, like we still haven't even seen really the impact of their acquisition of like the ZeniMax
Right.
studios, right? Like
Bethesda
the
and all that.
Bethesda guys.
Yeah.
I mean, like they haven't
yeah,
put out anything yet. I don't know. I mean, I don't like nothing has gone fully exclusive. Nothing has really changed yet, right?
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
so
Give me Elder
yeah.
Scrolls
But
6.
Well,
So
other
people are
than
really
Games
stressed
Pass being
out.
awesome. Yeah.
yeah,
People are
sure.
really stressed out by the thought of Starfield and ES6 going Microsoft only. So
I think it'll be
But
fine.
here's the thing: I tell people, I think it's like this is like the console war is dead. It's like it's a content game now, right? So
yeah.
um,
Yeah,
and they don't like. I don't think Phil is like, yeah, I'm just gonna put it onto Windows and Xbox. I think this is like, hey, it's like that. The reason why Microsoft Word is on every platform, every browser now. It's like they just want content everywhere, right?
Yep.
I don't think exclusive is the end game, really. So I'm not super worried about that.
Well, and it kind of seems like,
Yeah.
especially in the modern day, exclusives don't really exist so much anymore. Like it's exclusive for a little while, you know.
Timed exclusive, yeah.
So yeah. Well, like
Just
God
just
of War
just not
coming
the
out for
console wars.
PC. That
Yeah.
that was crazy. That God of War and
That
Horizon Zero
is.
Dawn came out for PC. That's nuts to me.
Yeah,
It is.
or
It is.
MLB like for
Hmm.
Xbox. I mean, it's
Yeah.
just yeah.
Well, cool.
Um,
So now you're doing Rainbow
is it
Six
handheld
Siege. Are
though?
there any? Well, I think it almost is. But are there any other esports that you cover right now, or are going to?
No, it's a good
You,
question. I think that so we just announced last week. Just talking about my work for a second. Like we just announced last week that Ubisoft has reorganized our esports vertical, right? So now we're long story short, we used to be Ubisoft. The way it's run is very like it used to be the publishing side used to be very split between East and West, kind of Europe
yeah,
and
Hmm.
America, and
Yeah.
now they reorganized that to be one sort of cohesive team globally. And so obviously also the esports side of things. So it used to be that I would have to work across the aisle with my European counterparts, and we work together on agreeing on how to do the Rainbow Six stuff together. Now
yeah,
we're just literally one team, and so my management
yeah,
is now. Um, in Paris, and it's great. Like it's actually it's going to afford me a lot of agility, and it's going to empower me to really um, make a lot of global decisions that we need to make to grow our ecosystem and to evolve our esport. And when you think about Ubisoft as a publisher, as a developer, we have like 40 studios around the world, and we're constantly making new games. And we have
Yep.
a bunch of old games as well in the pipe that are potential for competitive gaming, esports, etc.
yeah.
This is the old adage, which is you don't like you don't create an esport, the community decides what's an esport, right? Like
Right. They
you
decide what's going to be
yeah,
fun.
like you make a game. If the community likes it, it's an esport. If they don't like it, then it's a dead game, right? So like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
so you don't decide. But what we have now is this ability with this new vertical to actually work very closely with all of our studios to say,
Hmm.
hey guys, like if you're creating a multiplayer game, have you thought about these things? And have you do you aspire for your game to have long legs and last for a long time with competitive? Then you need to think about these elements to um, these tools to give to your
yeah.
community so they can help you grow it into an esport at some point.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm excited about. It's like this
That'll be good.
reorganization has happened very recently, and
Yeah, new avenues, new opportunities, more
exactly.
freedom. You'll probably have some more creative freedom. Now, can I end this segment here by pitching you an idea for a game,
Here
Ubisoft?
we go. All right.
Um, you remember Mega Man Soccer for SNES? You were like Mega
um,
Man. It was the Mega Man franchise, but you were playing
okay.
soccer on a field. It was super competitive. My brother and I, like, I was like a team of Cut Man, and he would be like Proto Man, and we'd fight on the field with the soccer ball. And then we were super
Wow.
competitive. It was nuts. It was like the best game for me, of like 1995. Now, take this
Now I want to go
concept.
check it out. I'm like, shit,
Oh,
I
it's so
never.
good. Yeah, throw the legal ROM back up on like your
Yeah,
Odin
I'm
or
gonna
one
go
of
buy
your
the cart and then dump the
or
ROM.
on like
Yeah.
your
Totally.
Powkitty A19 arcade cabinet. I see you got back there. I know that's what that is, right? It's got to
Which
be
one?
the
Oh, that
Powkitty,
right there.
the arcade
That's the A13. The Pow Kitty. That's
A13, right? The
yeah.
third
That's the
A13.
like joystick box thing that
Yeah, the
the joystick
joystick,
screws out.
the
Yeah.
little Pandora box thing. That is really neat. You can play Mega Man Soccer in there. But what I want to do is take Mega Man Soccer, uh, rethink it, bring it in to a modern age, and combine it with the Assassin's Creed uh, characters. All the
Okay.
Assassin's Creeds, like I'm talking Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Origins, and also Valhalla. Take all those characters and have them on a soccer field playing
Right.
really aggressive soccer with each other, and it could be a whole team of people. And they also have axes, and you can slash at each other, and it's kind
Can
of
you
like
do
Rocket League.
assassinations like
You can
on
do
the other team?
assassinations. Yes, you can, and they'll respawn, but it takes like maybe 20 seconds to respawn or something. But there's also
So
a game of soccer going
Assassin's
on.
Creed Soccer is
Yeah,
what you're saying.
Assassin's Creed Soccer is what we need. I'm not saying you need to give me any like rights to it or any like royalties. I just want a little. I just want a little like build a good achievement system for me. That's all I need. So that's all I ask.
Okay. If
Take
we ever make that game, I'm not actually allowed to say that I've heard any of this, so I didn't really hear any of this. So,
you
like,
heard nothing.
we can't take any ideas. So, yes. But that sounds. I mean, you could apply. I mean, I think that Nintendo has been using that formula for a long time, right? So
they have, they
Yeah,
have
using
been.
Assassin's Creed characters, soccer
yeah.
in violent soccer games. Yeah,
hmm
it's true.
Yeah, I think I was just
Um,
playing Mario Soccer on GameCube
yeah.
on my wannabe Odin the other day. So
What's your wannabe, Odin? I think that's a good segue
It
into
is a good
handhelds.
segue.
What do we got? No, wait, is that GPDXP?
No, it looks like
no, no.
a Gamester.
Oh, you got
Yeah,
the
this
game,
is
sir.
this is
Oh,
my
Poco
this is my
phone.
my Poco F3, right? So
Ah, you're F3. So you and Kay probably talk a bit, don't you?
so K, yeah, he's our resident um, Android
Shout out
guy, I
right there.
guess. Like he's
Shout
our
out Kay.
resident Snapdragon dude, and he actually got me pretty. I mean, it's interesting. There's a whole. I mean, if we're gonna shift to that conversation, let's do it. But like he was the one that convinced me to first get an Android phone. Like I've been an iOS guy for
Yeah,
like 12, 13 years, right? And I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, I feel bad for people who have Android, man. It's so I feel bad for you. The UX is so bad. But now and then but that's because I hadn't looked at Android in like 10 years.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty
so he
good
told me to
now.
get it. Yeah, it's great, and now that's the whole point. Is like now I have this, and I have he convinced me to buy a Mi Pad, the Mi Pad 5
Nice.
Pro.
Oh, the one that can do
Yeah,
the
Um,
it's great.
GameCube games.
I mean
Great
it's a
tablet.
Snapdragon 870, right? So I now
Yeah.
I
Oh
have
yeah,
yeah. So now I've got
demolish
these devices, and everyone's like, yeah, Odin, and I'm like, so I've been doing Odin for like the last
for a
like
while.
four months. Yeah,
That's Snapdragon 845, but it is overclocked, mind you. So it's like an 855 or so.
No,
But you're right.
and in fact,
Past
I
it,
think it's probably, for all intents and purposes, the same as what I'm experiencing, right? But my point is,
yeah,
people are like, people have been like living in this RG351 world when,
Yeah.
like, now it's like, oh my god, the horizons are open. You can
I
play
know.
PS2, and oh, you got yours? You got,
Something like the 280V feels
oh, the
so
280V.
clunky. This feels so clunky these days. We were doing a
Oh, but
Miyoo Mini episode before
it's
this,
so
so it's
cute.
like it is so cute, but it doesn't play much.
Well, it plays up to
I like it.
PS1, right?
It
Like,
plays up to
Well, yeah,
PS1
but
decently,
so does
but the
the
Miyoo
Mini. I
Mini,
mean,
yeah.
blows it out of the
We're all
park.
going to pull out our minis.
Yeah.
there
Oh,
we
you got
go.
your mini. You got the white
Mini
mini. You
Town.
got the
I
little.
got, I got the white. I got the white.
Wow, look at that. Oh, they're
But
so
you know what?
adorable. They're a little family. They're a little
I
family.
was hanging out. I was hanging out a couple days ago over the weekend on the Miyoo Mini channel, and so I can't remember who. Somebody was like egging me on. He's like, "Yeah, just because I said something about I now I have the itch to get that brown one," and he was like, "You should just do it," and then I did it. So now it's coming. So I'm gonna have two minis.
That's how the sickness starts,
It
man.
is.
It is.
It
It is.
You got the bug. What OS you got on there?
is. I got the
For
latest Onion, man. I went through that whole
You
thing,
got the
dude.
Onion?
I
We just
love it.
had Jim on as our guest earlier today. We were just digging into that Onion. There's a new OS coming called Union with a U,
Oh,
apparently, that
Which
is
is
going to
an
be written from
actual
scratch.
custom firmware. That's an actual, like, Onion is an overlay on the current operating system, but Union is going to be an actual custom firmware,
A
which is
a
exciting.
full
Oh,
thing.
okay. So it's going to actually take over Miyoo firmware, like the Miyoo
Yeah.
OS. Okay,
It's going to be its own thing
It will.
entirely. Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
It'll be the
so
first
it's
custom.
able to probably do well, at least theoretically, all the things that the 351 ULED can do. I mean, I
Yep.
assume so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
most likely. Yeah.
That's where they're
Yeah.
making it. It's going to squeeze a little bit more performance. Jim is totally backing it. His buddy Sean Inman is working on it, and he's like, "Yep, as soon as Union is full, as soon as it supports every system that I want to play, I'm switching to that."
Yeah.
But in the meantime, Onion is so perfect and so good at what it does.
It is, and I mean, that's the thing is that the thing that I take away most from my journey here is that the community and all they contribute to this is just mind blowing. I mean, like they're just doing this out of like passion, right? And
Yep.
like I'm
They're all
I'm
nuts.
just
Time of their lives.
discovering my Vita, right? Like
You're
I just
getting into Vita,
right,
and shmups. You're shmupping.
Yeah, I'm shmupping on Tate mode on it, but like
I love that.
I mean,
I love
the
that
amount
category.
of homebrew and community work that has gone into this thing is like, man, these people are just doing it out of their passion. Right? It's crazy. And
imagine if Sony had put that much passion into the Vita,
Yeah.
Where it would
we
be.
were just talking about that on the Vita channel. It was like, I think it just, the timing of Vita was tragic in that it was like, whatever, 2012, 2010, and like mobile gaming had just started taking off. Free to play was taking off.
Yeah.
iOS gaming, everyone was like saying, "Oh, the traditional handheld is dead. Everyone's playing on phones." Like that whole thing was happening, and like I think Sony just lost their way. I don't know. Like it was. Yeah.
I remember going to a GameStop, being super excited about it, buying a Vita, going home, screwing with it, and then taking it back the same day. At one point, like at the time, it didn't have the games. The UI was bad. It felt clunky, which they fixed that later.
Was it just not like next gen enough for you or something? Like were you just like
I was expecting like a real successor to the Vita, or not to the Vita, but to the PSP. Like I love the PSP so much, but I was expecting a real upgrade, and it didn't feel like it at launch, at least. And I know it got a bunch of updates and all that kind of stuff. And obviously the community support for it right now is crazy cool. But
it got better
launch,
later.
It wasn't worth it to me.
Yeah, and then also as I'm discovering, the Vita actually had a ton of games put out for it. Like I didn't know, like tons.
And for role playing games, it's bar none like the best handheld. Like you can play all your PSP games, you can play all the Vita role playing games that came out, as well as use it for emulation. And it emulates really well up through, I want to say, N64, right?
Yeah,
and
N64
does maybe some
really
Dreamcast.
nice, though.
It is okay. So it does really, really good PS1.
Yeah.
You sound so sad.
It doesn't natively. It doesn't natively. Are we beyond now?
You can convert PS1 games into PSP games, and it'll run perfectly.
Yeah, get those PBP files going.
PBP files, yeah.
PBP. I'm all about that CHD life. What's your favorite file compression format?
CHD for life, for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So sexy. So sexy right now. Yeah, those compressed hunks of data. Now. I mean, it has hunk right in the word, right in the name.
Hunks. Like compressed hunks.
Is it chunks? Is it chunks of data?
No, it's not chunks. It's compressed hunks. Yeah.
Hunks. Compressed hunks. Yeah.
Or chunks.
Kind of like the three of us, just a couple of compressed hunks in our various spaces of the world, podcasting it up for the internet.
And then there's this, the Q36, which
you did not.
The Q36.
You did not. You got the Q36.
Oh my goodness.
I blame Russ. I blame Russ
so
and his
tiny.
videos. Yeah, it's tiny. So this is with the Miyoo is here, right? Q36.
Oh my gosh, it's so small.
Yeah. It's even smaller. It's smaller than the Miyoo.
Is that fun to play? Do you enjoy that playing on that?
I have kind of like wide hand. I have kind of big hands, and it's manageable. I think mostly it's a tax on the eyes. It's like it's hard to read. It's hard to see, right? Like
What kind of games are fun on it?
1.5 screen or something like that on that.
It's like 2 inches. Something.
It's like a Nokia N-Gage screen.
You could just talk like this.
You could use it like a phone. You'd be like, "Hello, 911. I have a handheld addiction. I need to. Somebody send help, please."
Here's the V90, right? I mean, this is like, it's even
pulling them all out.
Tiny. It's so tiny.
I heard that snap. I heard that satisfying snap you just gave me. That pop. I don't have a V90 right now. I got to look. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Shay, you're getting me going. My nips. Okay. Yeah. So, what kind of games are fun on the Q36?
I'll be honest. Like, they're mostly just like action games with like clear, bright graphics that are easy to see.
That are easy to see, no text.
Don't play any RPGs.
Yeah, don't play Grandia. don't try to sit through, Mother 3 or anything.
Mother 3, yeah.
Pass.
No, hard pass. Well, okay, so
Oh.
what was your first retro handheld? Because how did you go from like being Ubisoft esports dude, and being like, oh, I need to collect every handheld that there is?
Yeah, actually, let me go grab it real quick. It's right
Yeah,
here.
okay. Is it Ubisoft or Ubisoft?
I would say
Is it
Ubisoft.
Ubi? I say
It's
Ubi.
Ubisoft,
It's
right?
actually
Ubi? It
Ubi.
is Ubi?
It's officially
Yeah.
Ubi. I
I
guess.
think it's
Yeah, you would
Ubi.
know.
Yeah, I
You would
know.
know.
I've only heard Ubi. So this is my first handheld. It's the Hello Kitty
The
A19.
A, the
Oh, yes.
A19.
The
Yes,
That
A19.
old gal.
I think it still has power.
That
It
old
does.
gal.
Let's see if you can see it. It is
Do you,
the
you have that Retroid OS on there?
the
Do you? The
Pandora
Pandora.
Oh, yeah.
Pandora
Yeah,
Mini. You can kind of see.
that
Hey,
came on
if
the A19 or
you ever want
the
lineage, let
A20.
me know and I'll send you a file.
Oh yeah, Thor. I was gonna say Thor was working on that.
I think
Yeah,
it's boot time.
Turtle and I
Okay, okay.
Look at that. It's
Turtle and
amazing
I
boot time. Just no time at all. It's
we
a really
released
good
the
handheld.
standalone Android for the A19 and the Retroid
Uh,
Pocket 1.
let's go.
It's obnoxiously yellow. It matches the
It
Okay,
is
there we
Q36.
go.
I
so
Okay.
appreciate
yellow
that.
and
Yeah,
it's
so
only
now
got 500
it's like
megabytes
I
of
still have the
RAM.
Chinese OS on this thing because
Mm-hmm.
um, no matter what I tried, I could not load my stuff on here. So I've kept it on. Um, it's just a reminder of kind of my
Yeah,
origins.
your
Yeah.
start.
So yeah.
Wait, okay, so when did you get that? In
So
2019,
it was like
2020?
spring. I would say spring, probably spring of 2020. So
Yeah.
early pandemic. Um, at the
Yeah,
time I was messing around a lot with like Oculus Quest. I was like, I was like doing a lot of VR stuff,
yeah,
and because like we weren't getting out of the house, so I was like, I was playing VR games, trying to like experience like just trying to experience things honestly, and like, and I think I was disillusioned with VR. I was like, man, it just
yeah,
sucks. It's
yeah.
not fun.
I,
And
I'm
so I
there
was
with
like,
you.
I want games to be like just easy and kind of what I used to
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
So then
Pick
I,
it
I,
up
I
and play.
Googled like handhelds or something. I don't remember. And I bought this from not like AliExpress or anything. This was like from Amazon. Like, so I
Oh.
probably
Yeah,
paid too much.
Nexadas.
And
Yeah,
yeah. And, and then, and then I started, and then I discovered Retro Gaming Core and then it was over. And so,
yeah,
but
Oh.
I
yeah.
had this
Russ
for a
can
long time.
sell handhelds to an Eskimo. Yeah.
Yeah. No, actually, you know what? After this, I bought it's over there, but I bought my GPD Max,
Mm-hmm.
my Win
Oh,
Max,
nice.
right?
Yeah.
So and I messed around with that for a while, and then after that I got the Win 3, which
Oh, I had one of those for a while. That plays really good GameCube.
yeah, I mean it's like a pretty decent handheld
Yeah.
PC. And then like after I got through my GPD phase, I was like, wait, I can get these amazing like $150 or less handhelds for that play
Yeah.
pretty much all the things I care about anyway.
Is
And
that
like,
the
so
Right.
then it was like Russ and his videos, his damn videos, and I just started. I think I went from like 351M to V to MP. Bought the
Yeah.
V90, the A,
Yep.
the A13. Yeah, just started going crazy.
Uh,
So
How do you display all these things? Do you just keep them in a drawer? Do you like put them in a display cabinet? Do you hide them
um,
from your partner? Like,
I have a bookshelf, but it's not. I mean, dude, when you go to the channel that whatever the hardware photo channel,
the device showcase.
device showcase channel, like
Yeah.
people have like amazing like glass cases with stuff, right? And I'm just like blown away by what everyone has, like,
Yeah, the
they
Discord.
just
Yeah.
or
Yeah, I know.
Thor, or was it Thor? You have a Casio collection, right? Like don't you? Oh, no, that's Damien. Damien has like a
Yes.
Casio watch
Yes.
I
That's
think
collection.
Damien.
Damien, yeah, he's
Yeah,
the big
and even
collector.
he has like this amazing case for his watches. My stuff is just on the shitty IKEA couch or shelf right now. I will at some point get something better. So yeah,
Well,
no.
it's either
But
like, yeah, you
when
either
when I
go
when
I
I'm
have
working, which is here in this sort of screen all the time, I put my favorite handhelds in front of me as I'm on these calls for work,
Yeah.
and I'll just leave it on the track mode the whole time. Like it just runs by itself. I turn off the sound, and so it's like I'm surrounded by my little guys. So yeah.
I
I
love
will
that
admit
feature.
that I bought IKEA curio cases, the glass ones, the nice ones, like a month and a half ago. They're in my back room right now. I still haven't set them up for the handhelds.
I mean, I just use. I'm
Device
more of like
showcase time,
a
dude.
Yeah, I
yeah,
know.
device showcase time. I got the rest of mine in the house. I'm in the trailer right now, but I keep them all just like in a nice organized drawer system with like microfiber cloth lining. So it's more of like a museum for me, like where like or like really uh I don't know, rare books, like I'm keeping a rare book or something, and I open up the drawer and I make sure I pulled off the microfiber cloth, I dust off with another microfiber cloth, and then I
Wow.
play it. I want to get some gloves to put on, like the Aya
Maximum effort,
Neo
dude. Maximum
Next
effort.
Wow.
has gloves, so then I don't get any like fingerprints on. And I realized recently that I'm like, I might be a little bit neurotic about my devices, maybe just a little bit. And my wife goes, "Yeah, but I love you, and you know, you take great care of the kids." I'm like, "That's thanks. That's all I needed to hear." I'm
Oh
Do
man.
you do the same with your baseball cards and your comic books and your
no, I
Magic the
don't collect.
Gathering cards?
I used to collect Magic the Gathering when I was a kid, but no, I didn't keep those in anything special. Baseball cards, not really. I mean, I guess I had some, in like the usual like the binder you would have as a kid would put your cards in there, but I didn't
Yeah.
take that good care of it. But for some reason, these handhelds mean so much to me, especially during COVID and the pandemic. Like I just like, and the whole communities around it. I love the community, and I love and want to take care of these handhelds, and I keep a pretty slim collection. Okay, I don't like have every handheld ever made, but all the ones I
Anymore.
love anymore. I kind of go through phases. Right now, I have maybe 15 total, which is probably more than most people, but still,
That's a collection, dude.
it's
You can't deny it.
it it's
Yeah.
a collection. How
For
many
Yeah.
sure.
how many do you have? You would you say total right now?
Um, Probably around there. Probably maybe a bit more, but around 15, 20
Yeah,
ish. Yeah.
yeah. Do you want to go deeper, or are you at the point where like this is exhausting? I want to lighten my load a bit and just get
No, I have
some
become
cleaned up.
more selective. I think I didn't
Yeah,
have a Vita, so I got that. Um, I'm this Friday. I'm pretty excited to go and pick up actually from another user in our Discord. Um, my custom GBA. So I bought a
nice.
yeah. So he's building a GBA with IPS screen, USB
Oh yeah.
charging, USB
Is it Eames?
headphone.
Are you buying it from Eames?
Games, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah,
lives in
he's our
LA,
chief.
so I'm just gonna drive up and see him. I'm
He's
gonna
the
Oh
check
yeah,
that
GPS
yeah.
guy
out.
for sure.
He
Yeah.
is our complete Game Boy expert. He is the IPS screen mod expert. He's going to be doing
Okay.
a like a class to teach people how to build these, and we're going to live stream it and put it up on the channel.
Oh, awesome.
So yeah,
Oh, I had no
he's a
idea.
good
I
guy.
thought I was just buying from some dude, and it
No,
turns
he's
out
not some.
he's the guru. That's awesome.
He
Yeah.
is the Game Boy guru. If you're getting something from him, you know it's going to be really solid quality. It was built by a master craft of the device. So
Yeah. No, he
Absolutely.
showed me three shells, and I was like, okay, I'll take the clear one. I'm super excited. I've had a one of my favorite devices is actually my new 3DS XL that I modded. Thanks to the GBA channel, and
wow,
it's an amazing. And once you mod it, it's an amazing device. Every bit as
yeah,
amazing as the Vita, honestly. And so even though I could play GBA on there,
hmm
I still have an EverDrive X5 Mini that I got. Like I dug my SP out of my box or garage, and I
Yeah.
was so excited. I
yeah.
charged it up, I turn it on, and I'm like, oh god, it's fucking terrible. Like the
It's
screen is
TFT
so
screen is so
so bad. Like I didn't get the improved version, with the backlit, so it was so
Yeah.
bad. So I will never use it. But now I'm like, okay, I bought the EverDrive for the SP, but I couldn't use it. Now I'm gonna get a real good GBA. So but to your question, like,
yeah,
I think I'm going to become more selective because, like, for
yeah.
instance, like, would I want to get an Odin? Sure, like, yeah. I mean, I want an Odin. It seems pretty cool.
Have
Like,
you ordered one?
No, I haven't because I have this right.
Restraint.
Well,
Restraint. Impressive.
but I have something that functions exactly like a node in, even though
Hmm.
like the downside is it doesn't have that complete form factor with the shell and everything. But
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I need something that just does exactly the same thing? You know, like the Miyoo Mini is different because that's just a cute collectible. Do I need to spend
Right.
$250 on something that is just like I already have it? So
Yeah.
so I had to make
Yeah.
these choices, right? So now I'm shifting to either I get something that I don't have, which is like GBA or Vita, or I'm collecting controllers now.
Okay.
Ah.
Yeah, so I'm like for instance, K. We have this side Discord channel that we talk about stuff, and in that channel, like Dollar Bill and K and I, you know, the burrito, right? Like the mini controller,
Yeah.
like this guy, right? Like this guy, like
Yeah.
it started with I needed a multi-purpose controller for Android and everything else, so I got the GameSir X4, the T4, and this is the mini version of that. So I have both, and
Those
now
are
I'm like,
great.
because I think Russ hit on something, which is he kind of put the controller bug in me because he said, and I agree with him, that like controllers are important because this is how you interact with everything. Like, never mind
Yeah.
what the machine or the game is doing. Like, this is how you feel a game, right? Like, this is literally
Yes.
it. And so I was like, yeah, you know what? Crappy controllers create crappy experiences, and I want good controllers.
Yeah.
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 Well,
So
and that's why I'm surprised to see with the Game Sir though, is that the Game Sir is great. And I like it more than the Kishi, but it still has those really clicky buttons like the RP2 had. And just the
yeah,
clickiness is exhausting over time to me. I need
yeah,
a
I
little bit
agree.
more mush for me.
I just need
Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Backbone. I just need
okay,
Backbone to
Exactly.
but
make an Android
Backbone's great.
controller.
It's not clicky,
Right.
right? So I don't think the
Yeah.
Backbone buttons are clicky.
But
I
it's only
I
iOS.
haven't
It's only
gotten one.
iPhone.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I need an Android backbone. It's true. And I have a spare iPhone right now, so I kind of want to try a backbone, but I haven't pulled the trigger on one yet because I'm like, then I got to get
the
into
the
iOS gaming.
the A19 is really clicky.
It
Hmm.
Like
does. Oh,
the
those all
D-pad.
do. Horribly clicky, man.
Yeah.
You got the A19, you got the RP1, and then you have the is the A20 clicky, Thor?
Well,
The
is it
revision of that?
The Retro Pocket 2?
No,
no,
the
it's
A20, the
not.
new.
It's not
Oh, the
the.
A20. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's not too
It's
bad. It's
pretty
kind of like the
soft.
analog pocket clone. But the RP2 itself, yes, the RP2 is very clicky. And
Oh.
the 2 Plus, what do you think about the 2 Plus?
I like
I
Have
don't
you
I
the
don't
thought
two
about
have it.
picking it up?
pluses. I like the two pluses buttons over the A20. That's for sure. They're
Oh, for sure,
definitely
yeah.
the membranes are
Nice
way, way,
and
way better. Yeah.
way less clicky. You have the clicky shoulder buttons, but you don't have the clicky face and D-pad
This
anymore, which is very nice.
this thing like turns on no matter what you do. If it's off and you start touching buttons, it just turns on. If it's off and you plug it in, it just
Yeah,
turns on.
it's
I don't get
done.
it. Yeah. I
That
don't
the
understand it.
A20 looks it actually looks like an analog pocket from
Yeah,
from
they
from here.
It
it's
does.
like
Are you
if
going to get one of those?
the A19 and the Analog Pocket had a baby and that baby collected fingerprints.
I was gonna say, and it just is covered in fingerprints. I can't stand that, dude. I can't stand when devices have that glossy finish. The original GPD XD clamshell drove me crazy because of that. I love that device, but that is a glossy fingerprint magnet. The XD
Yeah.
Plus is a little bit better, and I played on it for years. But I'm loving that they're making these devices with this really nice plastic that's not so fingerprint magnety. So screw the A20. I'm not buying one, Thor, until you finish that custom firmware, and then I have
We're
to.
working on it. We're trying to get
But
Batacero going on it. It's going to take a little bit
a little, a little, yeah.
getting
But the
there.
mini,
A
yeah,
lot
the
of things are
mini is
hung up on
really
custom firmware right now. I can't believe how
Yeah,
fast the
where
I
it's.
Miyoo
love this
custom
guy.
firmware team is run though.
Yeah,
I
I
I'm very
love
love
excited
this
for
that.
them.
guy. Yeah. I mean,
And the
okay, so
280.
here's the thing with the mini, right? Like D-pad, not super awesome. I know about you guys.
Yeah, that was our one point of contention, I'd say, during the review episode is the
Yeah.
D-pad. It's a little squishy. It's a little bit. It's Jim was saying he likes it more than Ambernic D-pads. What do you feel? Do you like Ambernic D-pads more?
Oh my god, are you serious? like this thing is like
Yeah,
I think this is the one to beat. I mean, like seriously, the
yeah.
D-pad and the buttons
On the
are like
MP,
this is
is it
the
the
MP,
MP?
but yeah,
Yeah,
this is the MP. But as far as I know, the MP, the V, and the M all have the same membrane for these.
I think
They
so.
all feel amazing to me.
Yeah,
The 552 D-pad's awesome as well. I love this.
the 552 D-pad is really good, and it might have the same D-pad as the 351 series.
It
I'm
probably
not
does.
sure. Uh, I was saying that maybe I like the D-pad on the Mini a little bit more than the 280V, but maybe it's because the 280V just doesn't have much room to hold on to it right there, so it makes it tough. I
I
don't know,
actually,
man.
I actually
I
kind of
don't
want a
know.
280V, in a weird way, because it's
You want
like
it? I'll
I
sell it
kind of
to you. Here you go. I'll ship it
really.
tomorrow.
Will you?
Sure, why not? Yeah, I'm done with it. I'm a mini guy now. I don't know.
Okay. All right. Well, then let's chat later. Maybe
All
I'll
right.
buy something.
Yeah. It's great condition. Look at this. 10 out of 10. A plus plus seller.
I
he
know you're
wasn't joking
So
about
you're
the
you're
handheld
you're neurotic.
OCD,
It's
so
by the
fine.
way.
I
He
trust
wasn't
you.
yeah.
joking about that.
Yeah.
Every handheld that he's ever sent me has been in pristine condition. All right.
Yeah.
He sent me the Miyoo Mini, and it was busted on his end, like it wouldn't start up like every other time he turned it on or something. I received
Yeah.
it and no problems whatsoever. Like, since I don't know
Oh
if it was
wow.
the cold or getting jostled
I'm
around, but
He
I'm
even
just
fixed it
did
before he sent
something
it to
dumb.
you. Apparently.
Yeah. Yeah. It had some sort of weird software thing. I don't know. Thor's magical and it's good. I am
Yeah.
very good at putting on screen protectors though. So all my screen
yes, you are.
protectors are perfectly. Just look at this
I'm
Mio Mini job. I'm just to toot my own
absolute
horn.
shit at screen
Just
protectors.
Yeah. No. I'll
just even.
I
Mm,
will I will I will take it off your hands if you want to sell
sure.
it. So you guys, how are you guys feeling about? Because now that everyone's getting one to review, and it's the videos are coming out, and it's people's pre-orders are starting to be fulfilled. Like, are you guys getting the Steam Deck FOMO? Like, how are you feeling?
E- I want a Steam Deck. We're both in Q2. We have a Steam Deck
Same
in
here.
the server. Because there was we have one guy who's on our crew who works for a gaming journal in the Netherlands, and he has one to review right now. And he can't say anything until the embargo lifts on the 25th.
Right.
So, but he might throw us a few bones. He said, he's like, well, when the embargo lifts, I might be able to help you in some way. And so we're really hoping to get some like insider stuff to make some videos from that. We'll see.
Okay.
If not, we're trying to buy a Q1 from somebody so we can get it reviewed. As far as playing on it goes, oh yeah, it looks cool. Okay,
My expectations are pretty moderate on it, though. I don't think that the battery life's
Really?
going to be amazing, uh, and I wish that they would have went with a 1080p screen instead of 800p.
it's so damn big. We can't fit
Yeah,
it through the door. You know,
It is big. Yeah.
it's gonna be painful to put on my lap. I don't know. I might injure
there's
my children. I'm not sure.
there's a lot
And
of
actually, my
comparisons.
criteria for
Yeah,
handhelds is like this. This is the bag I go out with. It's a
you're gonna have to
shitty
get a bigger
bag.
bag.
No, but this bag is it fits everything. Everything fits in this bag. Like like when this will fit in here.
Yeah.
Um, like all my other devices fit in here. Like my Mi Pad will fit in here. Basically I can fit like pretty much everything that I own in this bag. But I don't know about Steam Deck, so it's I don't want to carry a backpack.
Well, Russ
Yeah,
was showing us
a lot of I think a lot of people are expecting it to be something that it's not going to end up
a
being.
magical unicorn. It's gonna
Yeah,
be good for what it is. You can already
right.
see what it is. If you watch the Linus Tech Tips video or Gamer Nexus, anything like that, the Fox, they show you what it is. It's gonna give you 3 to 4 hours. Oh my
Oh my,
god, what is
there
that?
it is. There's the space
That
station.
is that is a
This thing
cursed
is not going to
that
fit in
is
my
a
bag.
cursed image right there. That is what have you done here, sir? You
This is
built some
Oh,
a
sort of
this is a
how much
Switch.
was
Nintendo
that thing?
Switch.
This was two hundred
What
fifty
is
bucks.
Oh
This was
damn.
on.
Oh
This was like
damn.
a Indiegogo project.
what the
Um,
hell
so yeah,
are you
so
showing
this
me?
thing actually has a. So this is like these are actual like the Joy Cons
What
actually connect. Yeah, they actually go
Yeah.
in here.
what is powering that? What is that screen in there? Is that a
Um,
tablet?
and it's a screen, and so there is. It's ridiculous. So
Oh, it
there's
keeps going.
this is
Oh, it's
like
like
a
a
battery
transformer.
Look at that
strap. You're
thing.
supposed to put a battery here,
That
right? You're
is,
supposed to put a battery here, and then this thing is supposed to power this whole thing. And
who's
Oh my
inside this
gosh.
responsible for this?
container,
Who did
inside this
this?
container is my Switch.
Oh,
Um,
this
You
is a
could
case for your Switch.
you
yes,
could
the
easily put
Switch is
like a
in this
10,000
thing.
milliamp hour battery in
The
that
Switch
strap.
is in
Like
this
Oh, this
thing.
is a Nintendo Switch that has been turned into a. Is that a 10-inch screen?
Yeah, something like that.
What
So,
what what do you call this?
so the crazy thing is, right? They shipped this thing early. Like, they it was already late, but they shipped it without. I ordered it with the battery and the T-shirt, and so they haven't shipped the battery or the shirt. And so the only way to play this is with a USB power right now. And so now this just actually functions as my side switch screen that I put on the side because I can't. It's not actually portable because I don't have a
right.
battery to strap into this thing.
So they
Yes.
ship
Oh
the
my
product but not the
word!
battery? That's odd.
Yeah. So you can
What do you
only.
call that? What is this called?
It's called the Orion monitor. I don't know. I don't know what's. It's the Orion something. Orion.
Hmm.
Oh
You can see the
man,
label right here.
I'm
Well, that's
impressed.
definitely bigger than
I'm
Steam
impressed
Deck.
that it's
So,
but you
someone
can.
made that. But
There's another
is
HDMI here.
Virgo?
hmm
Oh,
You
you can
can
plug it into it.
yeah, you could just so for instance the other day I plugged my GPD Win 3 through HDMI here, so it was just a monitor for my GPD Win, and
Okay.
and I had a Bluetooth keyboard, so it was like literally a PC, so a monitor.
Is that comfortable to hold?
I'm holding it by the straps.
What do
It's
you
like
what do you do when
it's
you
like a
hold it?
shield. You can use it. You just put your arm here like a shield.
You could use it, yeah, for home defense. Yeah,
Oh, you mean like holding it? Yeah, it's
yeah.
not
Is
bad.
that
really
comfortable?
get the link LARP going. Yeah.
It's not bad. I
Oh
mean,
man.
you're holding it like they added these um, this like extra this extra bit you have to actually like screw on,
Can
but
you
it helps it helps your palm like hold things.
can you
That's
imagine? Have
big.
you tried taking that like on like the subway or something? I don't know, pre-COVID times. Like,
No, actually, like the joke was I bought that. I mean, I thought it was fully portable. I mean, I think a lot of people felt a bait and switch in the Indiegogo, but I thought it was going to be fully portable. So the joke was I was going to bring this to a cafe and sit around with this massive screen and play this thing.
it'd just be really cool. Like,
Yeah,
sip on your latte, and then just have this thing, and then be
yeah.
playing Smash Brothers,
Well,
and people are like,
I
nobody
mean, I
fuck
have
with
done
that guy.
this. I have done this, right? Which is my knee
Oh,
pad
I've done one of
with the
those. The
Oh, that's
controller.
iPega.
cool. Yeah. I
That's
like
the
Yeah,
that
iPega
too.
so
90.
yeah,
That's the 9067. I love the rounded ergonomics on that
yeah.
telescopic controller. I put one of those with a Samsung Tab S4 in, and that fit really well, like a 10-inch Samsung tablet. But that was before these handhelds, which I got into. My entry into it was the RP2, and
Yeah.
I've not looked back since. I can't do any of the telescopic controllers. I just like, there's a little bit of Bluetooth latency that I swear is present. That some people are like, no, it's not.
Well, you
But
and I bought a key sheet like around the same time at one point,
yeah, Dollar Bill
and
is my Kishi now.
we enjoyed it, and then
You
we were
just
like,
press the controller.
nah,
Yeah,
I don't want to put something on my phone. No, I'm good.
I know. We tried, man. And I've over the years I've done gaming on my phone, and I've done ROMs and emulation on my phone. And just as time goes on, I don't want notifications. Maybe like your Poco
Yeah.
phone, if you bought a dedicated phone that doesn't have text messages coming into it all the time, that's one thing. But I don't want to be disturbed like on my main device. The real world pops in too much, and I'm like, it takes me out
Yeah.
of my experience.
I saw a user the other day talking about loading Discord onto his Odin, and I was just like, no, I'm not doing that. Absolutely not. I
I
wake
would.
up to 57 messages from Stubbs and other people every single day. Like, no
Oh
way.
yeah, it's true. I can't help it. You could load Discord on these Android handhelds because you could stream from them. So
Yeah.
you could stream direct to our Discord now that we have that streaming channel if you want from your Odin, your RP2
Oh
Plus,
yeah.
whatever. And that's kind of fun. You don't need to load in some other app to do that. You can do it
Right.
from Discord.
Yeah, I gotta check out that chat room more. The one with the voice and the video.
Yeah, the voice room.
Yeah.
We've had some fun times with that. There's always someone streaming these days, and it gets creative. That's where Eames is going to do his Game Boy workshop. So
That'll be
Cool.
we'll
good. I'm
record it.
looking forward to that because I've seen the results of the Game Boys that he does mod, you know,
Yep.
but I've never seen the actual process. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a horrifically complicated thing, but there are some nuances about like screen placement and stuff like that that only somebody that's done it, 50 times or 100 times before would know about. So that's definitely something to look forward to.
And well, that sounds great, guys. With that, I think we might start to wrap it up because I gotta hop off in a few. And Che, it's been awesome talking with you, man. Let's do
Yeah,
this
guys.
some
Thanks for
more.
having me. It's amazing.
Thanks for
It's
coming on,
awesome to
dude.
get to know people that are in the community, and I'm like, what? There's this wealth of knowledge and stories. Like,
No, you
I
guys
want
have
to hear
started
more of these
something
anecdotes.
so awesome with this retro handheld Discord. Like,
Oh,
it's
man.
such a great community, um, and it's just so fun, and everyone just has fun with it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to more.
That's
The,
the
the
goal.
sickness
Everybody having
and the
fun.
love. Yeah, sickness and love. That's what we promote. Just buy handhelds and love it, and just tinker, 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 and
Yeah, and
make some
I'll ping you
friendships
about the
along the way.
280V.
Yeah, yeah. Ping
Yeah.
me about the 280B. I'm not finding myself using it right now, but I am waiting on Secure Retro Modding is sending me a bunch of upgrades for it. So I'm getting like new faceplates, new buttons,
Oh
and
wow.
so let me wait. I think it'll be like a week or so before I get those. Let me send you with all of the 280V upgrades so you can tinker and open it up and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, or if you change your mind, let me know. I mean, because
No,
you're gonna get the stuff. So.
I won't have
He's in
time to mod
purge
it.
mode. He won't change a
I,
thing.
I, yeah, I have a baby, and we just bought a house, and I'm actually gonna go sign paperwork right now in the next 5 minutes. So
Congratulations again.
thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, man.
All
Thank
right,
you so
guys.
much for coming on. It's been an absolute pleasure. Guys, make sure you reach out to us on our Discord. Feel free to join in on our Patreon. And we have the new YouTube channel, youtube.com/retro handhelds, where you can get all this great content. And you can
Yep,
hear us talk to awesome people like Jay. So come on in
anytime. Yeah,
anytime. All right.
come talk to us.
Catch you
We don't
later.
bite.
See you guys.
Have a good night. And this has
Bye.
been BRB Gaming. Enjoy. What's going on, patrons? This is Stubbs here. I gotta be a little bit quiet since I have a baby sleeping, so we're gonna do ASMR patron thank yous today. Today we have 24 block, 8 flat-foot foxes in one, Acorns, Axerin, Sebion, Cathonix, Cognitive, Crazy Dave, Crypnip, Damien Wright, Deleted User 5334, Dogpog, Eames, Implay, DOG, Jelanimal, Javier, Reset Collection Dev, Jeff the Smith, Juicy, Liquid Divide, Me038372, Mega Barracuda, Mork, Mr. Faust, PK, Plaidman, Raven Mage, The Real Ben Franklin, Dollar Bill, Retro Game Course, Setsuna Guerrero, Super Zoo, Sweet Prince Scott, Thor, Totally Terry, Transients 8985, Voida, Volvani Bros, Webnet, Work in Progress, WIP, and Wonderful. Thank you all so much for supporting what we're doing here, and we'll see you next time on BRB Gaming.